Welcome to Reality Hunt Club. This webisode, we're going to go over our third batch of trail camera photos. Now, I'm going to go over them just like I did last time. I'm going to be talking to you through this my laptop's webcam, and I'm just going to look at the photos as I would look at them when I harvest the cards from the trail cameras. Now, this batch we had about 24 cameras. I've taken out about 6 or 7. We kind of repositioned some of the cameras. We're not going to run as much corn now. It's getting closer to bow season. So we're going to try to position the cameras closer on the bow stands. And we're still going to try to get some rub out velvet. They should be rubbing out of velvet the next couple weeks. And our deer normally rub out of velvet anywhere from the 15th of August to the 1st of September, as late as the 15th of September. So let's go over some of these photos now. I'm just going to look at them random and talk about them. Now this first buck, he's probably a 3.5-year-old. It's a July 10th photo. He's got some decent horns. Obviously they've got another 3 weeks of growing. I think this other one's most likely a 3.5. It's hard to age these deer. Yeah, he's definitely a 3.5. It's hard to age them because they haven't put on all the mass that they're going to put on for the summer. And their antlers are growing. Plus the velvet adds thickness to them. So once they rub off, and their neck starts swelling, you start getting a better picture of what they are. But they're a nice buck. His brow tines are kind of lopsided. And he's most likely a 3.5 is what I'm thinking. Which 3.5s are legal shooting deer in this club. The rules are it has to be outside the ears, or 3.5 or better, or 4 points or better on one side. So he's a nice. I wish his main beams matched a little bit better, but he's a young deer. He's going to be a nice one. So definitely going to be a nice one. Here's a bobcat we had. The bobcat, I thought I'd throw that photo in there. Getting on through there, daytime picture of him. The does are doing real good with the fawns. Nice twin fawns. Now here's a bachelor group hanging out on the power line. This deer had a lot of similar traits to the ones we call no brow. Which is a genetic that we have where the deer don't have very much brow tines. Obviously, he does have some brow tines. We call him no brow, and you can see he's got a little bit on the left and a nub on the right. And this one's probably definitely a 2.5-year-old buck. The other one too. So there you can see the difference. That's why you can say those are 2.5s, and those ones before most likely are 3.5. And there's those ones before that we had photos down at the other end. You see they got a little bit bigger body than the other ones, so I would say they're definitely 3.5s. But I'm not an aging expert. And tell you what I like to shoot and what I don't like to shoot. Buck getting the corn. That Moultrie camera has a real bright flash right there. He's got a little junk on he's got a little beam coming off his side beam. And we've seen some genetics like that before too. And that's that good 3.5 that we were talking about. More and more I look at him, the more I think he is 3.5. Now, I don't think he's going to be bigger than a 120-inch deer. And Chuck and I personally are not going to shoot those kind of deer. I want something bigger to go on the wall. And I think we're trying to shoot 130, 135, the bigger deer that we target. But there's a bunch of club members we have. My kid, Chuck's kids, never killed a big buck. So 3.5 walks out, we're going to shoot them. I'd like to see them go older, but you got so many guys paying good money. As long as they're going to put them on the wall, I have no problem in shooting 3.5-year-old bucks. But if I have a guy or a member that's shooting 3.5 bucks just to be shooting 3.5 bucks, they're cutting the antlers off, they're not putting them on the wall, then I'm going to get a little agitated, and I'm actually going to talk to that member. So as long as the members are willing to pay the $400 and put them on the wall, I'm okay. Now this is a real lopsided type, ugly looking horned deer. He's got great brow tines, but you can see his main beams don't match up. So he's not the most desirable 2.5, so maybe he'll straighten up. But that'd be a good picture to show next year. And there's the bachelor group. I've had that group as many as 7 in one photo. And there's that good old rain we need for the soybeans. And this is July 16th. I thought his ear, something was wrong with his ear, the way it looked right there, because that was a real funky looking pose. But apparently they're not. He's just moving around, and that camera's doing a real good job with him. But now he could grow. He could grow another 10, 15 inches because it's only halfway through July, and they normally start growing around the 1st of August is normally when we start seeing them grow, stop growing. And then they normally rub out anywhere from the 15th of August to the 1st of September, and sometimes later to the 15th. But normally between the 15th of August and the 1st of September is what we've seen on our club. So I might be on here saying, hey, he grew. I changed my mind. He might be a shooter that I might take. So let's change over. I think I got some more pictures of those deer. I didn't mean to do that. Let me see here. Yeah, same ones. Now this is a new one. This is definitely a 3.5. He's called the double corkscrew buck. He is a nice looking buck. He has got some real good potential. If I could put a sign or a ribbon around him and told my club members not to shoot him, this would be the deer. To be that age, I did get him aged by a taxidermist, but to be that age and to have that kind of main beams, lengths, and tines, and he's got another 2 to 3 weeks of growth, he is going to be a big one. So I'm hoping he stays on this camera so we can continue getting photos of him. But he is going to be a nice one. But I don't think he's going to be, when I say he's going to be a nice one, he's going to be a nice one next year. Now, some of our club members would love to shoot him, like I said, so I'm not going to say anything to them as long as they mount him. I personally would love to see my son, who's 12 years old, has never shot a bighorn deer. And then there's that no-brow type deer that we talked about before. All right, I got one more group of photos. And this is another field that we have of soybeans planted. We look at the number of deer out there mowing them down. All right. Doing a good job mowing it down. And this one's Sway. Now this is a 3.5, kind of like the double corkscrew buck I just talked to you about. He was a nice deer last year, about 120 inches is what we measured him to be with some software that we have. And I was just like, maybe he can make it through the year and nobody shoot him. He'll be a bigger one next year. Well, sure enough, he made it. He's definitely a 4.5. We've got pictures of him for the last 3 years. I've talked to him. I talked about him so much on this reality hunt club, and here he is. And I tell you flat out, this is one I'd love to shoot with my bow. And he's a 4.5. This is July 7th. Actually July 6th. And he's got a lot more growing to do. And nice big old mature. He's the mature buck out there. He's only 8, but that's the best you can do. So got a lot of 8 points this year, not a lot of 10s. So anyway, we ran 24 cameras, and we had 2 more bucks that we don't have on here. One was a 3.5, one was a 2.5. We pulled 24 cards out of these cameras. We got confused and we accidentally deleted 2 of these other bucks. One of them had about a 2-inch drop time, which is kind of real unique to our club. I think we've never killed or seen a deer with a drop time. The guy that hunted it before told us he killed a deer with a drop time. It's been about 10 years ago. So that's really interesting. Drop times are not very popular around where we hunt. So to see a deer with a drop time, I was really excited about that photo. And then, of course, Murphy Law jumped up and we deleted that photo that had the drop time. So anyway, we pulled some of the cameras out. We repositioned them, like I said before, and getting ready for bow season. And this is the 3rd batch of photos. We're going to start getting some more photos. We're going to start putting a hit list together as they start rubbing out of velvet. This is Reality Hunt Club. I'm bringing it to you as we see it. The deer are going to start getting more and more popular on the cameras when they start rubbing out rubbing off the velvet. Their testosterone is going to start going through there. They're not going to be hanging out in those big friendly bachelor group. They're going to start really hating each other, and they'll start roaming more. Right now, these bucks are staying in core areas of no more than 200 acres. And as soon as they rub that out, which any time after 15th of August, 1st of September, around that time frame, then we're going to start getting more bucks to come in. And I think we had like 20 to 25 shooters last year that were legal bucks on the hit list. And I'd say we had 3 to 4, 4.5-year-olds. The rest of them are 3.5-year-olds. So a lot of those bucks should start coming back, and a lot of those are named bucks. We hope they come back, and I hope I can bring them to you as I get them. And we're really excited. Bow season's about 6 weeks away, so we're really excited. So thanks for watching Reality Hunt Club, and we'll keep bringing it to you as we do it. So stay tuned. Got a lot more episodes coming on down the road.